It's a story of second chances.
She used to make chefs like him and break them.
Queenie Be was once a celebrity chef who reigned over the culinary world until she lost everything and vanished from public life. She meets a young chef and takes him under her wing.
He hadn't fooled her. Not from day one. An addict knew an addict. She hadn't fooled him either.
They share a love of cooking and troubled pasts.
It's a huge healing process. It really is. To be able to not just talk about it and get into the characters' heads that are going through this.
Author Terri-Lynne DeFino's characters grapple with guilt, forgiveness, and redemption in Didn't You Used to Be Queenie Be? Club Calvi's Reader's Choice.
Right now, CBS New York's Book Club with Mary Calvi.
Hello and welcome to our June meetup. We focus on fiction connected to the tri-state area, and we just read a book that left us laughing, crying, and hungry. We got together recently with some of our readers to talk about Didn't You Used to Be Queenie Be? You'll hear from them during this meetup. We're also going to talk to author Terri-Lynne DeFino about her inspiration for the story and her love of cooking and food. And book club producer Danielle Parker will share questions and comments from our readers. Hi, Danielle.
Hi, Mary. You know, our readers said Queenie Be is a character they will always remember. She's talented, tough, and yet she's also tender. She cares deeply about the people around her. They were also unforgettable. Didn't You Used to Be Queenie Be is a fun read, but it also changed minds.
Thoroughly enjoyed the book. And even though it was a lot of fun to read, I mean, I'm a foodie, so I totally enjoyed it. I love to cook. But it had a very serious side to it also.
I thought that it gave me more empathy for a lot of people that have struggling with addiction.
She took on such a delicate topic with such grace.
Everybody finds a space, everybody finds a role, and she was able to see that in people.
I teared up when she found Troy and where he was and how he felt he was better off there.
She found a way to work through her own anxieties and her own problems, and that was by helping others.
That's right, Mary. Helping others through food and friendship was a big part of the book. So was forgiveness. And we can't wait to hear your discussion with Terri and talk about it all.
Danielle, Didn't You Used to Be Queenie Be was such a delicious read. It made me hungry, so we started our conversation with what else? Food. Has food always been a passion of yours?
Yes, absolutely. Well, you're Italian, right?
See.
Food is love. I just love to cook. I love the creative process of it.
The only thing I have trouble with is bread. I cannot seem to make a great loaf of bread.
You
I bet, can create anything wonderful.
I don't bake very much. I like the savory side. My daughter bakes really good bread.
Wow.
She does.
I wonder if your characters would have baked a perfect loaf of bread.
Oh, absolutely.
Open your crates. Corn nuts. A piñata full of hard candy. Chocolate sausage. Saltine crackers. Gail's brain flicked through the textures, the tastes of each ingredient, how they'd go together, how to make them go together. Terri-Lynne DeFino's gripping foodie mystery, Didn't You Used to Be Queenie Be? Is the Club Calvi Reader's Choice. The novel centers around a disgraced celebrity chef, her striving protege, and their path through the kitchen to redemption. He drizzled caramel, still in the pan, onto the plate, set the slab of cookie on top, went through his ingredients again. The coconut cream wasn't whipped enough. Damn it.
Like, what are they going to pair it with? How are they going to combine these incredible ingredients? And I felt like you really nailed it when it came to making these beautiful meals that, like, I felt like I was tasting.
You know, it's funny. I was obsessed with that show, Chopped. And it's because it's the way I cook every single day. I look in the fridge, I see what I've got, and I put it together.
If we had it in our mind that we can make something with what we've got here.
You can, yeah, absolutely can. And I can also, if I can smell it, I can taste it. So I can smell something and know how it tastes.
Born and raised in New Jersey and living in Connecticut, DeFino tells me her gift has come in handy, especially with her prior book, Verena Palladino's Italian Love Story. She's written 11 books, including Bar Harbor, Retirement Home, Dreaming August, and Finder.
I have been writing my entire life, probably since I could write.
Really?
Like little fingered.
Are you kidding? Like, how old do you think was it?
My mom says I was 7. And my first book was The Fire-Breathing Dragon that I even illustrated all by myself.
Did you make any of the meals that we read about
I'm trying to think. Oh, the Portobello chicken.
Oh, that
I made
great.
that. That used to be I used to give my friends for Christmas. Instead of buying them all presents, I'd make them all dinner. And
amazing.
That was what I made them.
Now
the
everyone
chicken.
wants to be your friend. We had the chance to explore foods at Harry's Table by Cipriani, a true culinary experience on the west side at Waterline Square. Here you could indulge on pastry, gelato, even fine cheeses, pizza, and so much more. If you were to pick the perfect meal, what would that be?
It's got to involve pasta. I love pasta.
Yeah.
I love pasta and seafood together. Like
So
good
like-
shrimp fra diavolo.
Oh, beautiful, or white clam sauce.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
my goodness, I'm feeling like we need to feast right now. And we did. Wonderful, thank you so much.
It was so pretty.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Should we just toast our cappuccinos? I know we should have champagne, but I think
that's okay. Oh
which one
yeah.
should we try?
I have to try this.
Okay.
And I want to try them all.
Okay, me too, me too. Let's see if I could cut them with some type of grace. No, clearly
That's
I cannot.
Okay.
Terri-Lynne DeFino, thanks so much for being here. It
Thank
was just
you.
so much fun spending time with you.
It really was. It
And
was so much
sharing-
fun to be with
yes.
you last week.
And the pastries were delicious, weren't they?
Oh my God, the Zabayon one.
Delectable. I want to be back there, but it's so nice to be able to talk to you, and congratulations on being the Reader's Choice.
Thank you. I'm still kind of riding on that high.
Your writing is just so wonderful to dive into, and I really enjoyed the book, and it was just so amazing to meet your characters. And Queenie Be, of course, we should start with her because she is in hiding. Tell us a little bit about her and what was the inspiration behind her.
Well, the cooking field is it's just such a chaotic, especially when you get to that celebrity level. And I just think of Gordon Ramsay. He's got 10 shows on at the same time. I can only imagine how his life is. And it was kind of that, but adding in the whole substance abuse problem that does occur in the culinary field, and kind of mixing them all together to get Queenie.
Yeah, and she certainly found a way to be.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And let's talk about your other character, Gail. You know, he's that line cook, newly sober, struggling, and they developed quite a relationship.
I think that she saw a lot of herself in him, in that the thing that drove her was her past, the anxiety from her own past, and she sees that in Gail, even though they're so very different characters. But her mentoring him isn't just for him. It's kind of like getting a do-over for herself.
Yeah, that was something, wasn't it? Throughout the book, we saw her grow and almost come out of hiding.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was quite incredible. I wanted to talk about something that you brought up, that this was a healing process for you. Give us a little bit of an idea about that.
Well, my son died of an opiate overdose back in 2015, and that's when I first got the idea for this story. Was the Sean character was the voice in his friend's head trying to get him to live a better life, and that morphed into, is it a ghost sitting on his shoulder, or is it his own conscious kind of thing? But it was, writing it was so healing in a way, because I looked at it from my son who died's perspective, and some of his friends' perspective, and getting all these different perspectives was really important to me, to just understand the process, because a lot of people just don't understand, how can you do these things to yourself? Why do you keep doing it? And it's such a complicated thing that people write off as, oh, they're just weak, or they're just drug addicts, and it's just not.
Terri, it's really so brave of you to put that down on paper and really share it with all of us. I mean,
but it helps me too. It's such a, I'm an open book. Everything about my life is in at least one or two of my stories. So it helps me. It really does help me process.
There's so much more I want to ask you, and I know our readers have questions for you, so I want to get back to Danielle to hear what readers are wondering.
Yeah, Mary and Terry. Terry, thank you. And I think your gift and your generosity came through to a lot of readers because they also mentioned about how they learned something and about how they taught them empathy, and it taught them something else that they didn't realize they needed to learn. So, but we also talked a lot about food and cooking, and Queenie Be and Queenie Be's character. Cooking is character. It's crucial to her, to Regina, to Gail, to their identity and self-worth. This book takes us behind the scenes of high-end restaurants, soup kitchens, and cooking competitions. And cooking also propels the plot. So here's Susan's question.
So I must say that I really enjoyed all of the cooking, restaurant terms that she gave us in the beginning of each chapter.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know where she got that great idea from.
Yes, it's such a good question. I like the one that's on the fly. That's an order that needs to get there in a hurry. It really gives us a really wonderful take on the cooking industry. So how did you come up with that idea?
Well, with my the first two books that I did with William Morrow, I started with, in the first one it was a saying, and then the second one it was a Jersey Italian word. So it kind of seemed to be my thing. And I figured, well, this is really good. There's a lot of really cool terms that I've learned through watching the cooking shows. And there's so many more. There's so many more.
But the terms weren't just like in black and white and on paper, just to it really kind of gave us a glimpse into what the chapter was going to be about too.
Yes. Sometimes it was a direct, like, if I'm going to use the word, I want to make sure they know what it was. But sometimes it meant more to what was actually happening in that chapter.
Yeah, and that was really wonderful. And there were so many terms too. I mean, you really had to do your research too in the kitchen, which is a nice place to do research.
Yes, it was fun. Looking it up, there's a lot of Google searching that going on, but there's some that they're here today, gone tomorrow. So you have to keep up with the vernacular.
Yeah, you gotta be quick on all of that. I want to get back to Danielle. There are so many other questions we want to get to. So Danielle.
Yeah, Mary, you know, the places in this book come alive. You know, there's glamour and then there's grit, because Queenie Be, real name Regina, experiences them both. You see that in the community where she has that soup kitchen, and it's also where she lives. So that leads us to Joe's question.
I was kind of wondering how she chose New Haven as the backdrop for the soup kitchen, because I thought that was an interesting choice of town to put a soup kitchen in, because it definitely fit, but I was wondering why New Haven.
That's a great question. I mean, first New Haven, and also why did you decide to add the soup kitchen as a setting in there as well?
Well, Queenie needed redemption, and this is her medium. She cooks, and New Haven was the town she was desperate to escape from. New Haven is a very interesting city. It's a beautiful city, but it's one of those places that, you know, this part of the city is gorgeous and rich and everything, and this part of the city is murder city, you know, so she comes from Murder City. So again, it was her going back to the beginning and just doing her thing and trying to get some redemption by serving the people.
And those people, I was fascinated to hear that one of them is actually based on a real life person.
Yes, the Burger Queen, Gladys, is she's real. Well, she was real. She's no longer with us. But there was an old lady who used to come to church every week with a Burger Queen king crown on her head. And that was, that's her.
Did you always want to get her into a book?
I have. For many years, I've been trying to fit her into one.
So you must be a people watcher.
I am. I'm very much a people watcher.
And they somehow make it into your book.
They do.
And you do quite a bit of travel, too, around the world.
Yes.
Has that helped in developing your characters?
Yes, it really has, because the more people that you meet and the more the various personalities and even the way people walk and talk, it goes in there, whether you're conscious of it or not. It's in there, and it comes out when I need it, which is great.
And it's so true, because in your books, I feel like you mark your characters so beautifully. So as soon as the chapter starts and somebody walks into a room, we know who it is.
Oh, good.
So,
I'm so glad.
It all works beautifully. We're going to take a quick break. We have so much to talk about. And up next, we have to tell Terri-Lynne about a Club Calvi reader's run-in with someone she knows very well. That's coming up.
That was so funny.
Sitting on the porch at Mohonk Mountain House, and I'm reading the book, and this woman and her husband walk up to me and said, "Are you enjoying the book?" And I said, "Yeah, this is a great book. I'm hoping to finish it before the book club meet tonight." And she goes, "Well, my sister wrote the book."
Oh, that's great.
We had to talk for about half an hour about the book, and she gave me a lot of details about her love of cooking, and it was just a fun conversation.
Terry, what a small world.
That was so funny. My sister texted me just after they spoke. It was so funny.
I wonder if you ever run into people reading your book.
That is my big dream. I always tell people my dream is to be walking on the beach and to see somebody reading one of my books.
Yeah, and it is number 11, but you've been working on so many books, and I loved hearing your story about when you were 7 writing a book, and it seems like you've never stopped writing.
No, I've never not written.
Wow, how about that? Tell me a little bit about your writing process. I mean, some writers say, oh, when I get inspired, I just jot down what I want to say, but a lot of the authors that we've spoken with here at Club Calvi say they take it very seriously. They do the same thing every day, and they spend hours doing it. So I was curious about yours.
I do start every morning. I'm down at my computer probably about 9:30, and I'm usually down there until around 4. Sometimes I break for lunch. Sometimes I'd eat at my desk, but that's every day. Well, 5 days a week.
Yeah. Oh, good. You take the weekends off. Good for you. Good for you. I remember when I was writing on the weekends too. I was just trying to get it done, you know. But in the morning, just give me an idea. It depends on who I've asked, but I'm always curious. Before you get on the computer, do you, are you taking some time to kind of get acquainted with the news and social media, or you just want to be a blank slate and get started?
I kind of, I do my chores in the morning, all that boring stuff, take care of the cats. and when I get downstairs, I'm ready. But every once in a while, this is terrible, but every once in a while, my brain just needs to click out, and I'll click into social media.
There you go.
Just for a second, but every once in a while, I just need a blank space.
Yeah, I want to talk so much more about your writing, but so did the book club members. So let's get back over to Danielle, and there are a number of other questions for you.
Yeah, they did. They had a lot of questions, especially about Queenie Be, because she burned so brightly in this book, and then she also burned through relationships. And when she stepped away from her public life, but she was never forgotten. And it was interesting to read about the people who would welcome her back. One of them is named Marco, who knew her when Queenie Be was just Regina. So here's Lori's question.
Did anybody ask her if Marco was based on a real person? Did she speak about Marco? Marco was a funny character.
Oh, I know. I loved Marco, too.
Yeah, Marco, I really didn't think about it until just maybe 10 minutes ago when we were talking backstage. And Marco's just that solid guy, and that's got to be my Frank. He's my husband, and just that solid guy who's just always there for you. He's always just that guy. He's fine to be in the background. Not always. He tells a lot of jokes, but
and Marco's that kind of guy too.
Yes,
how wonderful that your husband has a character in your book too. Because that's what I really enjoyed, just meeting all of your characters and spending time with them and seeing them develop. That was a big part of it. And the plot of the story is that redemption piece. Tell me a little bit about your creation of that.
Redemption was a big thing in this story. My son never got redemption, and it was kind of a lot of me hoping that this was where he would have gone, sort of thing. But redemption it's in a lot of my books. I feel that there's always a chance for redemption, and I like to give it to people, even if they're fake.
Yeah, it was quite inspirational, really, and it's so meaningful. And it was lovely to be able to see them go through life together and create this beautiful relationship between Regina and Gail, and to see how both of them overcame. So that is so meaningful and so courageous of you. I wanted to ask you about what you're working on now. I'm sure there must be something going on the computer.
There's always something going on. I just finished a manuscript Ethel Peabody's Antiques and Chainsaw Repair.
Really?
I like long titles, but that's finished and awaiting life. And I just started another one it's called, right now, it's called A Little Weird. Not a long title, but it's, I like to take on challenges kind of thing, and the challenge with this one is just people are people. You know, everybody's got the label, everybody's got a designation, a prognosis kind of thing, whether it's autism or any of the spectrum-y things. And I just want to kind of get back to people are just people. You know, they might have their quirks, and some people need to be, you know, some people need medication and all that kind of stuff, but some people they just don't, you know? So I'm playing with that kind of theme, and it's a very, very, very fine line. Because there's, you know, a lot there.
Well, you are always able to handle it beautifully.
Thank
so
you.
we wish you the very best, and it's just such a pleasure to talk to you, and a big congratulations.
Thank you so much.
On being the Reader's Choice. We all had such a good time reading your book, Didn't You Used to Be Queenie Be? It was just great talking with you all about it, and I can't wait for your next book. So thank you so much for really joining us and spending so much time with us. You're so generous with your time. We appreciate it. And coming up, our next Reader's Choice Revealed, we'll tell you what Club Calvi is reading this summer when we come back. Danielle, wasn't it great hearing from Terri-Lynne DeFino?
It was so good. So many people are going to be so happy with this. They were waiting for this for so long.
She gave us so many secrets, so we really appreciated that. Now we're ready for our next book announcement. We asked you to vote on our top 3 fic picks, and Aftertaste by Daria Lavelle came out on top as the Reader's Choice. We're looking forward to this one. It's also about the world of cooking.
It is, but Aftertaste is about a chef whose food can bring ghosts from the afterlife for a last meal with the loved ones they left behind. So he opens up a restaurant in New York City that serves closure, but he doesn't expect to fall in love or cause chaos in the process.
And we'd love for you to join our Facebook group and be part of our book discussions. Read along with us. Just scan the QR code on your screen to get sent directly to our page. We also have the information on clubcalvi.com, and we'll see you for our next meetup.
Bye.